All right, let's jump right into today's explainer where we are going to completely demystify the often intimidating world of charts, tables, and dense instructional text. I mean, if you've ever stared at a massive spreadsheet or some densely packed workplace memo and literally felt your eyes glaze over, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're focusing on mastering Chapter 7 of our foundational materials and the goal to transform you from a passive reader into what I like to call a data detective.
So we're doing a bit of a 180 today. If you're used to analyzing literature, you're usually looking for the implicit stuff, reading between the lines for hidden themes, metaphors, trying to guess the author's deepest feelings. But when we tackle data, charts, or instruction manuals, we're hunting for the explicit. We're talking about reading exactly what is on the lines for 100% concrete facts. We're digging up data that is literally hiding in plain sight, just waiting for us to find it.
And this example brilliantly illustrates our mission today. Whether you're hunting for context clues or data in a chart, you are now a linguistic detective. Consider this classic context clue called the antonym flip. The sentence reads, her fashion sense was usually described as flamboyant, but on the night of the party, Tanya's outfit was uncharacteristically modest. Now, even if you don't know what modest means right off the bat, that little word but is your flip signal. It screams that an opposite is coming. So if she is usually flamboyant, showy, the absolute opposite must be true tonight. You just extracted a concrete fact using the clues right there on the page.
Okay, here's the docket for our investigation today. 1. The explicit information mission. 2. Cracking the grid. 3. Tornadoes and taxes. 4. Navigating workplace directions. And finally, 5. The power of details.
All right, diving right into Section 1, the explicit information mission, your new assignment. Listen. As a data detective, your job right now isn't to play philosopher or guess what the author felt. Your only job is to extract explicit evidence directly from the page. Explicit information is clearly and concretely stated in a passage or a chart, and it requires absolutely zero guessing, no inference. If a fact is explicit, you can literally reach out and point to it on the page. It's black and white and undeniably there.
Which brings us to Section 2, cracking the grid. How to scour a text or table.
When you encounter a table or graph, you've got to stop reading it like a traditional paragraph. You can't just start at the top left and read word by word to the bottom right. It doesn't work that way. Instead, you need to start scanning the X and Y axes for exact clues. Think of it like a treasure map grid. You find your target on the vertical column, trace your finger across to the horizontal row, and boom, right where they intersect, you've pinpointed your exact undeniable fact.
Let's put this into practice with Section 3, Tornadoes and Taxes, Real-World Case Files. Check this out. This is the Fujita-Pearson Tornado Intensity Scale. Over on the left, we've got the classification, running from F0 all the way up to F6. In the middle, the wind speed and miles per hour, and on the right, the damage description. To read this correctly, you just let your eyes track horizontally across the classification to its corresponding wind speed and damage. For instance, an F5 tornado, that means wind speeds of 260 to 319 miles per hour, causing incredible damage.
So, let's test those newly minted detective skills. Picture that grid in your mind's eye, or look super closely if you snagged a mental snapshot, and tell me, where exactly does 143 mile per hour wind fit? Which classification gets assigned to that specific speed? Don't guess, use the grid.
Did you get F2? Because if you track that wind speed column down to the 113 to 157 miles per hour range, you absolutely nailed it. And if you followed that row all the way to the right, you'd also know an F2 brings significant damage. Notice how there is zero ambiguity here? The answer is locked right there in the data.
Okay, let's do this one more time. But let's swap extreme weather for everyone's favorite topic, the IRS. Here is a fictional IRS tax table, where we're tracking income ranges in thousands against income tax percentages and Social Security percentages. Just like our tornado chart, all this info is laid out in a strict grid. Take a quick second to familiarize yourself with these columns.
All right, here's your assignment for this chart. What is the highest salary you can earn and still pay absolutely 0% in income taxes? To solve this, scan the income tax column for that magic 0% bracket and then trace it back to the left to figure out the absolute maximum income in that specific range.
Boom, it's $15,000. That 0% tax rate caps out right at the 15 on the income range column. And since that column is multiplied by 1,000, the maximum salary is exactly 15 grand.
This just proves again that the answer is completely explicit. There's no tricky math, no estimating, just finding the intersection of the data points.
Moving right along to Section 4. Navigating workplace directions, decoding the fine print.
All right, look at this wall of text from a workplace memo about graffiti removal. It is packed with specific protocols. Honestly, it's exactly the kind of corporate fine print that makes people just skim over it, which is incredibly easy to misinterpret if you aren't paying close attention.
But a true data detective? They slice right through that jargon and break that dense paragraph down into actionable facts. Like, sure, supervisors inspect equipment, but the memo explicitly states that drivers must clean their own trucks. Not some special nighttime cleaning crew, but each individual driver. And when does it happen? Immediately as each route finishes. Why might they finish at different times? Because route lengths vary. Pinpointing the fact that every single driver is on the hook for their own truck when their unique route ends. Well, that's the difference between doing your job right and getting a write-up.
Let's look at one more case file from a similar workplace setup. A refueling memo. Again, just a dense, intimidating block of text. But we can crack this wide open by breaking it down sequentially into explicit steps. See how much clearer this is? By transforming that fine print into a chronological checklist, we guarantee that absolutely no essential safety or reporting step gets missed. Step 1, finish your shift. Step 2, refuel the vehicle. Step 3, clean spills and report hazards. Step 4, log the fuel amount. We just took a confusing paragraph and turned it into an explicit, foolproof guide.
And that brings us to our final stop. Section 5, the power of details, applying this to everyday life. Here's the bottom line on everything we've covered today for Chapter 7. Missing just one tiny detail on a chart or a memo can change the entire outcome. Whether you're seeking shelter from a devastating F4 tornado, figuring out your taxes so you don't get audited by the IRS, or just following a boss's strict memo to keep your job, extreme attention to explicit detail prevents costly mistakes.
The facts are literally hiding in plain sight, just waiting for you within the grid of a chart or the fine print of a manual. So I have to ask, next time you face a dense wall of data or fine print, are you going to just guess and hope for the best? Or are you ready to step up, be the data detective, and uncover the exact answer?